must be honest, when it was first suggested that Jarrod Bowen could sign for Liverpool, I wasn't worried. I sort of scoffed at it a little bit, if the truth be known. I just didn't think he was good enough, not just to lace Salah's boots, but to provide a viable alternative for Mo Salah there. I just didn't think he was of the calibre to fit into what is an excellent Liverpool team. Let's be fair. Very recently Premier League champions, very recently European champions. Got a good chance of doing either or this season as well. Got to say, Jota's come in there, done a really, really good job. I possibly didn't think he would be as good as he'd been, so I guess, what do I know? But I didn't feel threatened by Liverpool being interested in Bowen. I've got to be honest, though, now, the more I watch him play, and the more I see how influential he's been for West Ham, the more I start to get worried. Now, don't get me wrong, I think we've got more of a chance of hanging on to Jarrod Bowen than we do of Declan Rice. But I said recently, I do think they're sort of cut from the same cloth. And what I mean by them being cut from the same cloth is it's the mentality of it. Because I don't really see a massive dip at any point from either of them. I think you really, when David Moyes is selecting the team, I think he's getting the same level of commitment when he's putting them on the pitch each and every time. Now, whether that translates into goals and assists, okay, that will vary. But David Moyes isn't worrying or wondering what he's going to get from Jarrod Bowen when he puts him onto the pitch. There'll be other players in the team he doesn't know, who could be scintillating or they could be crap. And particularly in that attacking quartet, or whatever you want to call it, there have been times very, very recently where particular Fornals, Benrahma and Antonio have sometimes been scintillating and sometimes been crap. You never get crap from Jarrod Bowen, and I think that is really the point here. Now, that's always been the case. I feel that bottom line, that lowest level, that he never sort of dips below, that's always been there. But that's just really a good attitude. It's a work ethic. It's the commitment that brings and nurtures consistency with it. What I didn't see, I think, really was excellence. And now I think I'm starting to see excellence, because I think Bowen's picking and choosing when to do the final pass, the cross, the dribble, all of that stuff, the shot. He's picking and choosing when to do it a lot better than he ever did. Those little nuances in the game, he's picking up and he's learning. There was a time during his first period, I guess this is all, it's not about me not having faith in Bowen, but he's getting better and better and better, and he's impressing me. Early on in his first stint, there was a conversation about him maybe he'd be able to get into the England squad. And I looked at the England squad and I saw, at the time, Sancho was possibly playing on the right-hand side for a couple of the games. I looked at some of the other wonderful attacking players that England had got, and then obviously Saka's there and playing well now, and I'm talking about that right side. And I think even on a couple of occasions, Southgate has played Foden on that right-hand side. I looked at it, I thought, no. And it's just, not only is he not at that level, he's not going to be able to dislodge those players. Now I'm not so sure, because as wonderfully talented as Sancho is, he's skittish. He's not got that consistency. He's up and down like a yo-yo. And if there's one thing you know about Gareth Southgate, this is why Gareth Southgate really kept Henderson in the team for as long as he did. It's why he went straight for Declan Rice. It's why he didn't mind putting a pairing of Declan Rice and Phillips in the middle. Because I tell you what, you know what you're going to get from both of those players. It's why he's suspicious towards Jack Grealish. There's a theme here with Southgate, but when you're dealing with Southgate, you're dealing with somebody who was a very, very committed player and played all of his career either as a defensive midfielder or as a centre-half. And I just wonder if he wouldn't take a little look at Jarrod Bowen and think, well, actually, this is the type of attitude I like in my team. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Saka's attitude. But it's not all about one player. It's not whether he can get in a team, it's whether he can get in a squad. I think, really, the questions about Bowen were, has he got the mentality to be up in that England squad, but has he got the technique to do it? And does his decision-making warrant him being there? Is his output good enough? Assists and goals, is it good enough? I'll tell you what, I think he's making a really, really good case now. Before we go any further, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. You can click that by using the link below. Underneath this screen is a link for the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app puts together all your West Ham news into one place. It will go and find and surf all the best West Ham websites. It will go and search the national news and put all the West Ham stories into one place, be it results, be it injury news, or be it transfer rumours, and puts them all together for you. Best of all, it's free. OneFootball app, use the link below. The OneFootball app, I'm pretty sure, by the way, is going to be full of Jarrod Bowen news immediately after this game. Of Hero Bowen and man of the match. I mean, he was everybody's man of the match, wasn't he? Let's be perfectly blunt. However, I do think coming up there's going to be transfer rumours about Jarrod Bowen, because my opinion has certainly gone from that early one of I don't think he can really get selected for the England squad. I don't think he would be attractive to Liverpool. So now thinking, actually, I can see it. I've just described why I think he might be attractive to Gareth Southgate, but in terms of Jurgen Klopp, I wouldn't be surprised if Jurgen Klopp's thinking this is exactly the guy I need when Salah's not in the team. I think the reason he likes Jota is Jota can play sort of across that front line. Now Bowen is not that player that can play on. I think Bowen's weak on the left, but Bowen can play right and he can play central, and he's already shown Klopp that he doesn't need a big lump in the middle. Don't need a Chunkenstein in the middle, does Jurgen Klopp? No, he doesn't mind the smaller player, the more diminutive player in there. And the work rate and everything he knows he's going to get from Bowen added to the quality is really, I think, is a massive worry for West Ham, and I think it's certainly a massive worry for me. That being said, when he first came in, I think I was very much thinking, okay, well, he's a £20 million player from the Championship. If we got rid of him, maybe there'd be another sort of £20 million player in the Championship would come in and do do the same job. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure you can just pluck players out and they'll do that and you'll get the same level of player, because I do feel at the moment with Bowen what you're looking at is one of the Premier League's best players. That's amazing. That's amazing. And here is really the point of it. He's really cemented that reputation during the time and during the point where the team have not been doing well. There's certain players in that team, not just West Ham, any team, who need the rest of the team to be playing well for them to function properly. Bowen's not one of them. Bowen's probably, well, it doesn't matter. I don't think Bowen's thinking or saying anything. But basically, if he did look around, he could probably think, well, actually, you can be crap, you can be crap, you can be crap, you can be crap. Don't worry. I'll still be good. And I can still influence the game and I can still impact the game. Well, that's a hell of a thing to do in a team game. It's not a game of doubles at tennis, where you can have a big impact on a game that's only involving 4 people. There's... I don't know why I was trying to guess how many people on a football pitch. 22 people on a football pitch. And for one person to be able to impact it when actually your teammates, the very people charged with giving you the ball and supplying you with the ball and giving you support and not playing well, for you to be able to stamp your authority on a game, I think it's really impressive, and that's why I think he and Declan are cut from the same cloth in that point. Listen, I don't want us to sell him, and don't get me wrong, as I've said before in a previous video, I think there's very little we can do when Declan decides he wants to go. I don't think there is. I think we're going to have to sell him, but I think we can hold off offers for Jarrod Bowen. I think we really can, because I just think it's a totally different dynamic. If Declan were to go to Liverpool, if Declan were to go to Man City, if Declan were to go to Man United, Declan Rice starts every game for those teams. So I just think he's a little bit higher up. If Jarrod Bowen goes to Liverpool, he's Mo Salah's understudy. He just is. And I still think if Jota's fit or whatever, Firmino's fit or whatever it may be, he gets a substitute role. Now, don't get me wrong, the glory of being in the Champions League might appeal to him, but I still think there's enough of a lure to be able to say, stay at West Ham, you're sort of the main man here and you're going to play every game that you're fit, and he don't even get rested that much, does he? So I think we can hold it off. I really do, but I do fully expect big bids to come in for Bowen. I really do, and I think there's going to be some offers, but the board are going to have to be resolute. They really are, and just turn them down, because what we don't need to do to get to this, we've come, I say reasonably far. We've come very far in the last 18 months, 2 years. West Ham, last thing we need to do is start selling off all of our best players. As I say, I think Declan's slightly different, because I don't think we've got to say in the matter. I'll tell you what is going to be important, though, and this is very, very clear, is the next thing we need to do is give Jarrod Bowen a new contract. And I doubt he even watches his videos. But if he did, I bet he's watching that video thinking, yeah, definitely. I'll definitely have one of those. Because he's becoming the main man. He just is. Don't get me wrong, we've got a lot of main men. I think Antonio's one of them. Cresswell's one of them. Ogbonna, bless him, who's, is obviously not so much at the moment because he's injured. And Rice. I think we've got a lot of guys who are integral and important. But I think Bowen is now up there with those. That's the point. You look at players and you're talking about sort of hammer of the year contenders. Make no mistake about it. Bowen is in with a shout for hammer of the year. Carries on like this, got a really, really good chance of winning it. With that sustained level of performance, I think you do have to remunerate them correctly. So if I was the board when they're sort of convening for this meeting of the new all new West Ham board. Yes, transfer targets got to be done. That's got to be the priority. But I think the next thing, what's next up on the agenda, Jarrod Bowen's contract would be something I'll be looking at.
Goldie, Brady, Sully, Horsevich, Jack the Junior, Sully, Goldie's mate, Kretinsky, Horsinski, and Jack Junior. Don't forget about Goldie's son-in-law.